Well, welcome to session 12, I think. Yeah, session 12, Descent into the Depths of the Earth.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we're just talking about tightening up strategy, getting more information, a little few reminders, take a look at your notes. There are some plot lines that are still there. So in a nutshell, you had a deal with her, yet you had this kind of other shady deal with the other house where they said, you betray a Calavra to us and you'll be greatly rewarded. I remember that happened after you slew the dragon,
Yes.
right? So there was some diplomacy, surprising diplomacy thrown about at that point, and then now it's a week at least later. I should keep track of the day count. It's been and you guys backtracked and went back in, so it's been about
Probably
10
two.
days,
Yeah.
if not 2 weeks. I should actually summarize that. It's pretty important because I have to scale the bubble.
Yeah, we got
That's
lost
growing.
for about 3 days in that honeycomb.
Yeah, and so welcome everybody. I'm gonna let you guys discuss things. Yeah, we just so you could follow up with that Glavdra and who knows what aid she can give you and what she expects in return. I think what she expected in return was that, hey, you were going to be an ally, or not an ally, but not oppose her, right? At least, so she could use you as a weapon. You're sensing to take out the council or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember, Clavdra doesn't want the bubble. That's that's the council's. That's the Fane's project, right? It's like the Pope, the anti-Pope,
Yeah.
is building this bubble in every way, gender and everything. It's like it's the other end of the spectrum. So just picture that in your mind. You're going into this. I was just mentioning earlier to a few of you that some of you are recognized by some factions. You guys still have a lot of anonymity, but there are going to be some things that will trigger responses if you don't cover them up, some obvious ones. You talked about like giving, yeah, plausible lies and such, and just you can exaggerate. That's the way the drow function anyway, but they can be surprisingly sophisticated, the drow. Just be careful, and very smart, whip smart, some of them, the females.
Well, and that's kind of why what we figured out is we've kind of got to use what they expect people to do, but then use it against them like they would use it against everybody else.
Right. Okay, and a couple other things bear note. Yeah, you can get some help in some ways, and you'll be opposed in others every time. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna let you guys carry the adventure soon. We'll at this point it's we're back in sandbox mode in a way. Canon Arcadia is here, and she's been I've noticed, and just as I interpret it, Canon Arcadia, I'm assuming somebody's always keeping an eye on her, but it's difficult when you're moving through the twisting tunnels, or not. You're back on the primary passageway now, so they're fairly uniform and so on. They keep them that way intentionally so that caravans can get through quickly, right? But still, that she's quite clever and slippery and well trained.
Hog and I are both keeping a pretty close eye on her, as close as we can, anyways, even though she is slippery.
Okay, yeah, but
she hobbled, frankly.
Everybody is keeping an eye on her still.
Oh yeah.
But let me know if you have any other precautions you're taking, because sometimes she'll have toiletries and things like that, and she's not in sight all the time unless you insist. She's played up the haughty aristocrat, and she's a priestess of Loth, and so she's reminded you of that.
I'm going to kind of keep an eye out to see if she's leaving any signs behind, in like when she kind of disappears for a minute, like check to see if she's left anything scratched into the walls or left anything in a certain way to leave a sign for somebody, that kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. I know it sounds odd, but I would use your hear noise roll, just because for want of I can't think of a thief skill that, because you're not really a tracker, but the thief would know would have some ability there. So go ahead. Yeah, let's
Or
do
maybe
that.
more like find remove traps.
No, hear noise is it's more
Okay.
perception thing than yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
It's not a very high roll.
All right, now a good call, Brad. But she has, if she has, she's been really clever. And so far, Brad, what is your comeliness?
13.
Oh yeah.
Normally 10, but there's +3 for elves.
How is your attitude now? Gwyden has been interesting in his how shall we say, his interactions with her, in that he hasn't allowed her to dominate him. Right, I picture that, Scott, right?
Yep.
And you showed that, you role played that really well. I noticed in a few instances where she tried to take control, but she's tough and she's not. And you can see there's some admiration in her eyes, Wyden, that when she looks at you sometimes. But that would be a blasphemy considering your genealogy.
She's curious though.
She is. And the males she deals with in her world were submissive, right? Usually, unless they were, yeah, rarely not. Boudica, she has treated you so far as I've noticed. Now, if you want to, you've been polite to her and helpful and frankly quite kind. I've noticed. You haven't argued with her or tried to, but through your acting, or I mean your role playing, you've shown her that you're not anything like her, and she's puzzled by that. Yet she knows more than than she's letting on as well. Bear that in mind, everybody. Like there's a bit of the charade going that you guys are. She may even know more than she's letting on. But anyway.
I'm just trying to decide. I'm trying to decide whether I want to be indifferent to her or I don't think I want to be forward with her. That doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah.
But I don't want to scorn her because that's to me.
Just be a total chauvinist. She'll love it.
You played it so well. Like when she was like waiting for you to help her with her armor and stuff. That was a really cool scene. The way you just said, "I'm doing this out of my free will. We'll play this little game." I liked it. And then she tried to strike you or something, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
You caught her hand.
Then I put my dagger in it.
Yeah, that's right. And you better make sure yeah. You better get me the first time.
Yeah, if you come at the king, you better not miss.
And that from then on, she had been careful about you. You notice that? No, definitely. She kind of avoids you, but you find her looking at you, kind of just like, And then now moving on, Boudica, we talked a bit. How do you want to describe how do you interact with her? I assume, am I correct, sort of, so far?
Very much, yeah. I'm looking at the perspective of this is a test from Elistare that if I that I need to be on my I need to be at my best and at my most forgiving so that so that eventually maybe she'll end up asking and be redeemed.
Nice. And then I'm assuming you're keeping up with your rituals and so on, trying to face the moon, assuming where it is. Last time we rolled a while back and the moon's phase was in your favor, if I recall.
Yes.
Now it's been waxing or waning, I can't recall. Your favor was a new moon, wasn't it? Like nothing? Or was it the opposite, full?
Oh God, it's been a while.
Anyway, it's now slipping into the other phase of the moon, just to let you know. So it's a bit more challenge. You're goddess is on the other side, so to speak, but still present. All right, then you're not, now you haven't told her that you're a follower, or have you told her that you were a follower of the goddess?
She's aware that I'm a heretic, but I'm
Yeah,
not
and
sure if she knows what deity I follow.
that might be too much for her. She might just freak.
Right, exactly.
Some
That is
drow are
exactly
just,
it.
yeah, as soon as you trigger them, in some ways they go to berserk mode, and it's part of their fight or flight thing almost. All right, excellent. And then Dean, we talked a bit earlier, and I'm just going through real quickly one by one with everybody to get an idea. It's been a few weeks to see where
Yeah.
you are and if you're giving me any special instruction, and then we're going to go with the adventure
Okay.
proper. Yeah, so you were being polite, and she avoided you because you're being a female human, are obviously of power and dignity.
Mhm.
She probably shows you respect. She's seen you move and seen you in combat.
And very, very good emotional control most of the time, except for when she was unconscious and tied up. She didn't see that.
She killed you.
Yeah,
Don't
and
forget.
exactly. And I'm still
You're
very
back.
emotionally neutral to her, which must throw her for an absolute loop.
And she now wonders, as you know, now she knows that you guys have great power, that you may have brought Zhang back, or Zhang was one of her powers, because she's heard rumors of the monks and their abilities, right, to escape death.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
basically, I don't think she has any mental powers, but I'm definitely going to be using all my mental blocking abilities around her, or anytime she's around, just to
Right.
block ESP and all the rest of that stuff, because she may have access to a spell or a magical ability that that may get that. So
She has been discreetly praying, you suspect. Remember last time
mhm.
we talked about that? And
And
Back. Better watch that.
so I know she can see it, but I've got the cloak and the boots that block the infravision and move the super silently underground. So definitely going to be keeping a close watch on her when I can put them on and know she's not going to be able to find me.
okay, and I guess I should have presented this outside of game, because it's kind of important that we assume roles and we're on shifts and stuff. You know, everybody can't keep an eye on her.
Oh no,
So, right. So,
so we're kind of
but
spreading it around.
yeah. So okay, and it's tricky, and the fact that she's not tethered or under any sort of controls, but she actually is kind of wink wink, realizes that okay, she has to behave in a way.
Being alone down here is dangerous in itself. Being with
Right.
another group could be dangerous too, but not as dangerous as being totally alone, correct?
Sure. And whether she can get away or survive on her own, she's probably weighed that. Like there's a lot going through her mind as well, you must realize.
Mhm.
But she's armed and so on. Like I mentioned, it's been a couple days she's been with you.
Mhm.
I 3 days, I think. 3 cycles.
Yep.
Cat, lay down. All right, so let's begin did I miss out our Silk? We already talked a bit about you and Bog.
Yeah, he pretty much hates her and wants to kill her, but he was
Yeah.
just holding back because he
Oh,
knows
yeah.
that it,
You and Bog were like,
these guys.
we got a plan. We're gonna I'll slit her throat in her sleep. We'll say it was the germline.
Yeah. Damn it! Hey, quit reading my mind.
No, he's all right.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Well, now that I think we're ready to go, and we're now on the primary passageway, as you can see. You've decided not to go back in the direction to the illicit camp labeled, and you guys can go right ahead. Resume.
Okay, so yeah, so where are we right now? Are we right where the red mark is there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
just down a little bit from the joining passage.
Just
There
finished
was the
camping.
troglodytes.
You just finished camping. And remember, you had a caravan just went by.
Can I get a refresher of what's going on in the cavern and the troglodytes? Are the troglodytes like subservient and they're like having a slave uprising? Is that kind of?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. There's a couple factions in the caverns that are usually fighting each other, but then one faction get hegemony, or perhaps the Drow have united them in a confederation. But something you heard that a while back there was a rebellion. It's been a while though, like it was like a week or so ago. The troglodytes rebelled. Or
Maybe we can get them on our side. If we can get them on our side, we would have like a fighting force.
Actually, it was only a day or so because it was after we got back in the main tunnel, Darren.
Oh, was it the guy who told you?
The
The
merchant caravan that came through.
Okay, okay.
It was like 24 hours ago that they came through.
Yeah, we talked to them a little bit. Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was yeah. No, sounds good. So it's there still could be results of that and things going on. It still could be going. Who knows?
Yeah.
Might have succeeded.
So
by now.
should we mosey on down the passage here, guys, and make some time today? And standard formation with Miss Cannon in the middle.
Okay, you're in charge of watching her.
I'm the forward scout.
Mm.
Silk's usually around the back, or is it the front?
I'm usually a second person in the front.
Yeah, so we gotta have
Sometimes
our
both is
marching
up.
order. Yeah, okay. And then you had Zhang and Boudica hovering around the front, right?
Yeah, Zhang was out front because of her ability to move silently and hide in shadows, and having the technology cloak and boots for the Underdark.
Although Silk actually is going to take up a position further back. He doesn't like. He's got an itchy spot in his back that he doesn't like. Yeah, I don't like that behind me.
Not on her back.
I'm going to be behind her back, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to go further back. Yeah. So Zhang is on point patrol.
Okay.
On that Boudica again.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have my birdwatcher's brooch anymore. That has been lost.
Right.
How did you lose it?
Why just about lost his too? Bog took it.
I think Germaline
Germaline.
ended up with it. Go ahead, Dean. I shouldn't have interrupted you. Pardon me.
Yeah, well, she ended up with it, and then the Germaline stole it from her, and we never took the time to find it when we were down there in the cavern with all the purple worms. So I never got it back. But at the same time.
And guys, that's funny. I just picture these Germaline kind of worship these purple worms, right? And they would bring treasures and victims there and stuff. It was a fun little adventure.
Yeah.
I want to go back for the treasure. Dang it.
Yeah, you guys bugged out of there, but that's a
Well, we
ways
thought
back,
more worms were coming.
Yeah.
and there may be. Oh yeah, you weren't wrong.
Anyway, so yeah, Zhang will lead off with her cloak and boots activated for the underground stuff.
Right, so like a shadow, she enters the shadows,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Hey, he's
And-
gonna
All
roll.
right. Anybody else have special things, spells they're gonna cast? Fly, invisibility, right? Remember all that stuff? Invisibility goes until you do something to nullify the effect.
The hide in shadows, yeah, you still gotta roll for it.
Yeah, to get started. But I'll assume with time, you can say, I'm going to hide in the shadows. And I'll say, you are hiding in the shadows, Brad. Because if you have an hour to do it, you're going to do it. So,
Yeah.
but if you wanted to do it like in combat and say, oh, I'm going to enter the shadows, you could do it. You could hide in the middle of combat. That's when you roll, when there's a time factor usually, right?
What is the
Yeah.
bonus on that techno cloak and boots?
The same as the elven cloak and boots in the forest, except it's underground. So for most things, unless there is extenuating circumstances or high light, it's in the 95 to 100% range.
Who in the Actually, I shouldn't ask this. I'm gonna look at your character sheets a minute. All right,
Yep.
so I'm gonna assume you guys are assembling, putting your packs on. The caravan has left. You see some strange things fly through the cavern suddenly, and everyone startles quickly. Weapons are drawn, but it's one of those weird blind bat things, or go by about the size of a turkey.
Hmm.
And
What if these good eating?
yeah, possibly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and other critters and things as the passage settles down, everyone quiets and they're adjusted. Now there is noise being made by like Mongo, particularly, and I would assume anybody with heavy armor that's not under some influence is pretty
Yeah.
noisy in the Underdark, right?
Mongo
So-
and Guiden would be in the middle section where she is essentially.
Yeah, and Zhang, you cringe all the time when you're out in the front, way out ahead. Even you'll hear a clink. Oh God, bloody hell! You'll hear Mongo, this curse will come down the passageway. So you guys make noise as a group.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. I was finishing up, and you guys
Yep.
ready to go? You all nod at each other. Everyone
Now,
good?
were we letting Boudica be out front?
No, Zhang's taking the lead.
Things taking the lead. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be on I'm gonna try and be on the flank here of what's her name, Cannon. But I don't ever want to be in the same place when she looks over her shoulder. I kind of want to keep her guessing where I'm at.
Okay. Okay. And you do make her nervous. You're intimidating as the party is, and as someone used to getting their way, being in charge, she's had to adjust, shall we say, a little bit. Had to
Mhm.
swallow her pride, and yeah, excellent.
Okay.
All right, we proceed. I'm just going to make a couple rolls here, and the hours tick by as you guys move along through the primary passageway, and you realize how much quicker it is. You guys were probably moving at a third the speed, if that, in that secret passage, like quarter speed, maybe, or worse, I should say. This passageway is so much easier, just grateful. You're like, oh, we can stand up now. There's often times where you're crouching down, and sliding down these twisted side angles. It's like, oh, don't slip down into that crevasse, you'll just gone. Ah. So good time is made. And I'll just put the GM cover so you guys don't see my rolls. And Mongo is doing a good job of keeping you guys, sensing danger areas. But he kind of nods and says, yeah, it's some things are maintaining the passage. You can see repair work. He points out once in a while where some debris was cleared from a little cave in. But you see nobody, run into nothing, and you pull out the map, and you've probably moved another hex, you imagine. Shift has gone by, about 6 hours-ish, 7 hours.
Mhm.
And you guys can keep going. You can basically do 2 shifts before you're tired.
And have to
then-
rest for the night.
Yeah, but if there's some coming up and you thinking strategically, you could rest now and then you'll have
Yeah.
more time, right? But just so you know, but so far it's all good. So I'll move the red line. You guys now, Mongo detects, yeah, okay, we're about here. And moving forward.
Short.
All right.
Head more to the northwest now.
Yep. And a couple more rolls here. It's been pretty quiet. Just that caravan back then a ways, that's been the only, and you detect that you must be getting close. And yeah, sure enough, Mongo kind of nods as you guys are resting to have some food. And it's now been 2 shifts, and you can see people are a bit tired. You've been moving solid. Brief stops. Cannon has been quiet, keeping to herself, and just because you guys have been pushing a pretty good pace. She's recovered quite well, thanks to Boudica, who did the healing job on her, and she seems to be recovering quite well now. She's had some time, and you see vitality and strength coming back to her. Her hair has grown back a little bit. There's a bit of stubble now, and she's kind of been doing a bit of this kind of hijab thing, I guess, you know, where she's covered. She's got like found some scarves and whatnot, and is wrapped around. Does pretty good camouflage job. She's not hindering the group by any means.
Yeah.
So anybody want to? What's your call now?
So that was 2 shifts travel, and
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
about a half.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we're about a half a hex or so away from
Well,
where
the
we
way
wanna
it
be.
goes, sometime in the next shift,
exactly.
and it could be close, or you know, but he shrugs and
Yeah.
now
what-
Cannon knows a few things. And she goes, "Yes, we are close. I recognize the double bend back then."
Yeah.
Ask
It
her
is a-
what, I'd like to ask her, what should we be looking for?
She turns to you again. Ah, it speaks again. What language are you
speaks.
speaking to her?
Hmm.
By the way, Scott?
I don't know,
Sorry.
Dro.
Yeah.
That's
So,
about-
she don't speak common.
Undercommon?
Yeah, she speaks undercommon.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak to her in my language. I'm gonna speak to her in Wood Elf. I
Wow.
don't
Oh,
care. I don't care whether she knows what I'm saying or not. In fact, I think you guys should laugh at what I say.
There might be some similarities actually, because remember the drow used to be light elves.
Okay,
until they
so
started
she-
living on the ground.
If she's resting
see
on the
her
rock,
cringe.
I'm
Uh,
gonna kind of walk around her,
Yeah.
look at her, and then I'm gonna say, in a courteous, I'm gonna say, I've never been this close to a Drow princess. She's quite beautiful. And you guys laugh it up for me.
Careful,
Yeah, those who
yeah.
speak Wood Elf.
not
Uh,
Zhang.
And
Well,
yeah,
I
you see a
spelled it.
smirk. Boudica knows a bit of Wood Elf. And she would look quickly over her shoulder, kind of with a, I don't know how you'd react, Boudica. You'd know Gwyden's trolling. And you see that Cannon kind of, you see her lips snarling, and her hand goes to the short sword that she's got. And she goes, she kind of says something in Drow under her breath, and gives him a keen look though, and then turns back and looks at Boudica. "So, do you speak the heathen tongue as well? What did he say?" He says in Drow, in High Drow too, Noble Drow.
I say only a little bit. But I did hear the word princess. I believe that was in reference to you.
I'm gonna grin, I'm gonna look at her, and I'm gonna say, there is no moon here, but the moon could not rival the beauty of this princess. And then I'll just move on. That's all.
And Boudica, if you want, you can kind of interpret that in a sense. As
Yeah.
he says it, and she looks at you expectantly, and then her eyes widen, big saucers in her garb, and you can say she looks kind of speechless for once, and she kind of just mutters, "Oh, heathen," but you see that she's stunned, like, and
Just got to be a little bit of an enigma. It's
Yeah,
got to stay
and-
that way.
it puts her off. Yeah, it puts her off. Like, you can tell she's now looking at your group like, are you all insane, or are they? What is this?
Well, if we're trying to mess with her head, I think we're doing a darn good job.
Oh, and there's this head game thing going on with Gwyden. I've noticed it's really interesting, and I think she may be losing control. That was good play, because she does keep involuntarily glancing at you now, Gwyden. And Boudica, you're there. You happen to be eating some food, let's say, with her, because she insists on not kind of eating with the others, right? It's like an apartheid sort of thing going, where she'll only kind of eat and converse with you because you're drow. And she has contempt for everybody else. But you'll notice that you've seen a few cracks because you like I said, you guys are very unorthodox and have been played it quite well. She goes, he's a strange one. His heart is probably large.
Yeah, Squiden is rather strange, but in all the best ways possible.
And then the camera pans away from that little area, and Mongo's just now you walked up to Gwyden and Silk and Jang. He goes, I think she's right. We're close. Can't you smell it? And he's like crinkling his nose a bit. Yeah, troggies.
Not far away.
Yeah, they smell a mile away.
What kind of defenses do they have going into their cities? Does she know?
For the
I mean,
moment,
I guess I'm
she's
talking to Boudica, I guess. Ask her if she knows.
so you come back and they're gonna, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if they see us, what are they gonna say?
Yeah. That's,
Especially, she mentioned something about her cousin too. How is he going to react to us?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna have to do is go over and ask her so what should we expect as we get closer to the troglodytes?
I passed through the outpost, it was 3 weeks ago now. There is a contingent, and she looks around. She's been ignoring Gwyden pointedly now, and kind of glances around at the others and kind of leans a bit forward. There is a drow outpost there. Yes, my cousin, he was there, but we are not on good terms.
How bad of terms are you on? Should we expect that there's going to be a fight as soon as he sees you?
Well, the protocols of the outpost demand that we should have passage through. But she looks dubiously around at the group. You can see now, seeing the character makeup and so on. That is if they let us through. My cousin, he is a junior officer at the outpost. He is not the commander. But he is a wizard of some power. He kind of says reluctantly. I would watch him. And you see she kind of scratches under her left armpit a bit, like it's kind of recalling an old something. Yes, I have to pay him back. Scum male. Anyway, she shakes her head a bit, looks back. Yes, there was a bugbear contingent, a troglodyte contingent, and then the filthy trolls, of course, lurking in the caves. They had allegiance to the drow through bribery or coercion, whatever. We had them controlled, but apparently there's this rebellion. You said the troglodytes. Well, they're always rebelling. They probably taught them a lesson by now. I'm sure the outpost is back in control, she says with assurance. She assumes that it's a pretty important outpost in some ways, right? It's on the main passageway. It is another branch as well. If you look at the map, it's similar to the outpost D3. And it's bigger. She describes it as a fairly large central cavern with numerous branches that lead to the faction's territories. There are areas, though, of the cavern that aren't under anybody's control. There are creatures that are very dangerous. And there's rumored to be a mad wizard in the caverns. And she kind of scoffs at this a
They're always
bit.
so mad.
Pardon?
Those wizards are always mad.
Yeah. Well, it's these rumors. It's some yeah, but there've been
There's a
reports.
kernel of truth to rumors, so we should be wary of that.
And you guys have stopped and you're deciding whether to press forward, that you're very close, or to rest now. Or
And
I don't know.
the question is whether should we go in there directly or should we go in a more indirect way, like taking side passages?
Well, the other thing to consider, Brad, is that this morning you guys did not get a chance to rememorize spells. So any spells we used down the previous passageway coming back up, you guys didn't get a chance to recast or rememorize. You and Boudica both. So that's why I was thinking we should take the night's rest here and go in fresh in the morning after a good night's rest.
Yeah, no, I just mean whether we should take a side passage in to this area or whether we should go directly in through one of the main passageways.
There is no side passage, Canon says as you translate Boudica. This main passageway enters the main foyer. That is, the other passages come from other areas of the Underdark, of course, and only the little skittering rat creatures, she mutters, kind of like referring to the germline, who she now hates with a deep passion.
I guess after they dressed her up.
Oh boy, shaved her bald.
Yeah.
So she goes, yeah, she spits as she mentions them.
Hope she doesn't remember that I dropped her when the purple worm came at me.
I believe she was unconscious at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pummeled. Yeah, that's when she was looking pretty rough there. Boudica actually helped her out quite a bit. She would have had, like, her one eye was destroyed, wasn't it?
It was messed up badly, yeah.
Yeah, it would. I actually had to
Yeah.
take an extra spell slot, or take a hit to my spell by casting Cure Blindness
Yeah.
on her to give her function in that eye back.
And she never thanked you.
Well, you can't
By the way.
expect everything. In an ideal world, she would have, but I don't think there is even a word for thank you in Drow.
Right, without a lot
Yep,
of
I definitely-
hooks and barbs in it. All right, so let's proceed. What's your decision? You said you're thinking about resting.
Well,
Right.
we try to look for a place that we can secure reasonably against those creatures coming in and getting us, like
So-
something
Boudica, give me a tracking roll.
crevice somewhere.
Yeah, because she was the one who was making for campsite,
Okay.
or was that somebody else?
Well, usually she tries to find us the best one, yeah.
80. All right, so it's not, there is a stop here, a rest stop area similar to the other one that you guys had encountered, where there seems to be a little side room, but it's not hidden or anything. Is what I'm getting at. And you can't find much better than that. It seems this primary passage at this point, little nooks and crannies, cracks you could go into as well, but nothing that really would hide you well. But it'll work. I mean, if somebody comes down the main passageway, you're within hearing and so on. You're not.
We will need a watch then, just to make sure.
Okay.
And even
So
then, everybody
we'll-
be ready to jump up at the drop of the hat. Yeah.
Oh, we've been like that for 2 weeks now, so
Don't
that's
make up for
it.
Yeah. But of course, extra now you're close. There's a good chance maybe somebody could be coming from that cavern, and it's a good chance they could just be travelers.
Mhm.
So we'll move on. So you set down to camp, and is there any interactions anyone wants to have with anybody else? Any role play or any interactions with gods, goddesses, magic items? And you're all a bit tired, and I'll need a quick shift count. Kind of just there's 3 shifts the night usually, right? Traditionally.
Yeah.
So refer to night, but it's basically the down cycle.
Actually, Silk is going to make a prayer to his god, but like a tribute to his god Oladamara,
Oh,
the laughing rogue,
oh, wow.
just for protection in this just crazy, dangerous place, and to give me that slight, perhaps give me that edge of chance when all else is lost.
Okay. Yeah, and so give me a wisdom check.
Oh,
You never know, you might get lucky here. What is your wisdom? Probably not.
12, not bad.
Oh, not bad. Okay, I was gonna say if you got,
But God, wicked rolls when I rolled this character. It was just crazy.
yeah, that's, I was gonna
There,
say,
your witness. Yeah, it was just one of those fluky things, just like, whoa.
okay, that, I was gonna say if you get half your wisdom, what was your wisdom? You said 15?
12.
12. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so you do give a prayer and kind of reach in your pocket, and there's a card in your pocket,
Oh,
and
I
it's,
think Oladamara and appropriately.
and you realize this is a gift. It's a one time you can play that card.
What does it look like?
It's got a laughing face on it. And it seems that you're able to give somebody, make them laugh. Perhaps hysterically, it might be a distraction. It might be handy, or might, who knows, be a gonzo moment
Should-
to play it at a funeral.
Yeah.
Play it at court right after somebody asks a question. Make that person
Oh.
laugh hysterically at them instead of answering.
Yeah,
It could,
exactly.
if played
Anything
properly,
like-
Handy indeed. Yeah.
Yeah,
but, and
it's something to keep a hand on.
and you find yourself grinning and laughing a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, this is my spirit today.
So
Yeah.
Boudica, you'll give me a wisdom check to see how you're doing with your goddess on this shift.
Oh, nice. That's a 6.
Is that under half your wisdom?
Just under, yeah, because a half would be 6.5.
You feel that warm blessing, and the goddess continues to be happy with you. You can sense it, but you sense you're becoming distant now. You don't hear her voice anymore, but you kind of hear kind of a lilting song, perhaps, as you reminds you of dancing under the moon, as you have a memory of that on the surface.
Mhm.
And of course, you have that talisman, right? That stone that kind of mimics the moonstone. That's sort of an avatar focus, or I should say a focus
Yeah.
in your
We'll be
meditations.
back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you bet, Brad. Anyone else? Mongo sleeps a lot, as you guys know, snores often loudly. Everyone cringes. You've had to wake him up before and such because he's giving you away. And
Shang. Oh, sorry, Brad. Or Darren.
yeah, he avoids Cannon, but watches her when he does. He watches her with a look kind of suspicion. He'll probably never trust her as proper.
Yeah. Zhang's going to not being extremely religious, but having religion tied to her monastery. But being totally different than the others in that she doesn't truly believe in gods, more in the spirits. And
Or Buddhist than Catholic.
essentially, yes. She's going to try and find a earth spirit to take a message back to the sky dragon, as there is no open sky here to have any message float straight up to the sky dragon.
That is very interesting. Could you give me a wisdom check? And if you get less than half, perhaps some spirit token will appear. It could be like a frog or something, or a salamander, earthworm.
What's her wisdom? Wisdom 17. I rolled an 8.
All right, so
16.
you're in an area that the spirits are strong. Like in the Underdark Way, there are creatures and spirits down here as well.
Yeah.
And you tune yourself. Let me think for a moment. That's interesting. You're out, scouting a bit on. Let's say you're in your first shift.
Yep.
And you coax one of these cave bats, for want a better term, to land on your arm or hand.
Mhm.
Hangs upside down. And you realize that there's these benign spirits down here, and then this creature is in tune with them, and you talk to it for a bit and find out that they don't go down to the caverns because the dark ones are there, and the factions, and there's powerful creatures, but you kind of know this, but you banter for a little bit, and you realize that perhaps this creature could help you. In a sense that you befriend it in a way.
Whatever happened to Bob and Ed, the two Zorn?
I think they wandered off.
They left.
Yeah.
For
It's been
spending all that money,
days.
it wasn't worth it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, never. Yeah, we just never developed that. Now, yeah, they were only going to
Got my
stick
money
around.
back. Make it barf it up.
Yeah. Well, you didn't fight them. You did bought them off in a way, and
Yeah.
nothing really came of that. And I realized that too after I was thinking, well, I don't want to make something for the sake. I didn't have a plan for that. It was
our whole family fortune.
well, that's a good call, Brad, because I kind of lost track of that. I hadn't thought about it. I didn't say they left yet.
Yeah. They just lost track of us when we went down that honeycomb.
Yeah.
But we did come back through.
Yeah, true.
Maybe they'll show up when we need them.
Yeah. So anyway, Zhang
Yeah.
will keep this fella around and chatter with him a little bit and see if there's anything he if he needs to eat. I imagine there's some kind of insects down here that pester people. He's got to be good to have around for that, if nothing else. And we'll see if he's an earth spirit for the area. I'll mention to him the sky spirits are very far away, and I'm lonely from the sky dragon. If you're willing, we could be friends down here while we share the path.
And it coos and twitters at you, and talks, and you can speak with animals, right? Monk?
Yep.
Yeah. So it tells you about that. There's a flock of them, for want of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And he says on the other side of the cavern, there is, he has some relatives, and if you could ask, because he's going to leave, he's not going to go into the caverns and such.
Oh, no.
He's going to carry on his way. But he says, he seems happy, and perhaps he could get another connection on the other side.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good information. Maybe we'll see if they know what's going on the other side of the cavern, out the other eye,
and
the other
Zhang,
caves.
It does much for your soul,
Mm-hmm.
which has been troubled lately with a few things, and you've dealt with it well, but this helped a lot. You kind of had a moment where you're like having a cat sit on your lap purring, right?
Essentially, yeah. A good grounding moment, even though she's a sky person.
Yeah. All right. Well, this thing flies.
Yeah. So yeah.
So we're wrapping up. Everybody's done their thing. Gwyden, you're gonna assume your shift. I'm just making a couple rolls here to see if so we'll go to the second shift, and Gwyden and Mongo are on shift, we'll say. Does that work for you guys? Or do you want somebody else to?
Sure.
You're muted, Scott. pardon me.
Sorry, I think Wyden and Drederick probably are doing their turns together.
Right. Yes. And Drederick's holding up well again. And you guys take up your positions. And I'll just move the game forward because I've made a few rolls and it's been quiet. There was a bit of a smell that Mongo mentioned it. Like you can smell it now. It's like kind of fishy smell. Or,
It was rather farty in here. It didn't come from my
yeah,
mouth.
or flatulence and farted. And the shifts go by and you assemble again for breakfast as the food is brought out. Cannon has rested. She took no shift, of course.
Well, yeah. Interesting.
And she had moments where, you know, you saw her again meditating, praying in her quiet way.
Yeah.
Bog has been around her a bit because you told Bog keep an eye on her.
I keep an eye on Bog too for signs of being charmed, perhaps.
or dominated and
She could
commanded.
be regaining
Well,
spells right now.
Bog is terrified of her,
Right.
though. Don't get me wrong. Bog's terrified of her. So
Yeah.
when he does, he's so subservient. His nose is scraping the rocks, right? Whenever he's near her, he's always bowed over. It's like his butt sticking up in the air. It's kind of comical. As you see, he's just terrified that she'll just reach out and snap him or cook him alive or
Good reason to
something.
think that. Yeah.
He's seen it. You're not sure what Bog's seen, but you tell he's a survivor. He's this little scrappy goblin.
Well, Slip's trying to groom him to be his Baldric.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to train him now. Give me a charisma check, Brad, and let me know if you get less than half of your charisma. As you try to groom him to kind of, okay, this is, you're not supposed to wipe snot on the towel when you hand it to me.
He is. He wipes on it afterwards, not before. Yeah. So 8, and then when it's 15, so yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, it's frustrating. it's like, yeah, faulty towers, the Spanish servant.
Manuel.
Manuel, that's it. I was looking for the name. It's like,
He's from
Manuel.
Barcelona.
He's
Yes,
from Barcelona. You have to
he's from
excuse him.
Barcelona.
He's from Barcelona. That was so brutal.
He's so nice, really. Basil, you bastard.
So it's difficult. You're close. You thought for moments you broke through, but then you would find him urinating on something, or whatever. You're like,
Give me a headache, jeez.
And you guys are eating your food and having your drinks and talking, and unless anybody has anything they want to prep to start this cycle, Mongo warns you, and Canon nods reluctantly when translated, and she often is beside you, Boudica, expecting translations of stuff now. She wants to know when you guys are speaking, and you have to let me know that it could get a little tricky because you may want to switch languages. And you realize she's tricky. She may know language that she's pretending not to know. I know, right? He did it again. That's not a urinal.
That's not a bucket. That's the food.
Okay, so
Acquired taste. I'm starting to get a taste for it.
So Cannon seems recovered. She looks, like I said, she looks good. She's got her armor all tightened up, and she's done her toiletries and eating her food. And she speaks to Boudica. So, when we get to the cavern, what's your plan? These fools walk in like this? I suggest you let me do the talking.
Let me we're still formulating our plan.
Formulating plans, she says with scoff. You tell them what to do. You are more than you seem, but you are drow. She leans in close. Just tell them. I'll do the talking, no? And you feel the presence of her.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get us all
Well-
killed?
So
There are
what I'm
resources
going-
the drow have. She just, sorry.
yeah,
There are
so
many trolls that'll come to their beckon. I know this.
yeah, so what I'll do is the next chance I get, I'll mention to the others that she wants to do the talking, and because she's afraid that we're going to get everybody killed. Obviously, we're going to do this quietly and with a little bit of subterfuge.
It is 2 hours away. You best act soon. I
Indeed.
do not want to die either.
So yeah, what I'm going to do is go to the others and bring up, she wants to do the talking.
What
do
language
we-
you speaking now? Like,
Um,
what and
I'm-
default setting, what language are you all going to assume and be able to talk to each other with? That you
that's a great question. What's the
Regular-
language that I'm assuming that we all speak common,
Yeah.
Surface
Um,
common, yep.
surface common.
I would pick that drow.
And I'm gonna say that we try to do it in hushed tones, just in case she's listening in, make it a little trickier on her.
I say we stab her and leave her in a hole. That's his vote.
Boggs nodding,
Make
like
things much easier.
Boggs got an ear to ear grin on. He's like nodding, picking his teeth with a dagger. Dink, dink, dink. Now she's being aloof, Cannon. She's kind of like realizing that, oh, you're having your little powwow. So she's about 20 feet away, but she's got her hand on the hilt and she's looking around. Now she's actually taking kind of a guard position, you realize. Crouching
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, and I'll say, she is right. We do definitely need to come up with a plan. However, I'm not so sure we should let her do all the talking, because it could be that she could end up saying something that could wind up getting us killed and her leaving unscathed.
Oh, and last, I have something that may help us with this situation. I have this potion that we found earlier, and I believe it's a potion of goodness, which means that you can lie through your teeth and it can't be detected.
Ooh.
So I'll give you some of that. It may foil their attempts to with their lie detection.
And Brad, an odd question for you. Does Silk take any drugs or anything?
Oh no, I never inhale.
Well, you come from a strange place of all sorts of vice and
You see me chewing on leaves, some strange kind of herbal leaves, and put a couple other ingredients in my mouth and chew on it for a while on that.
now this might be a retro play a little bit. Brad, I'm going to get you to give me another wisdom roll and let me know if you roll over your wisdom.
No.
All right. So you did have some strange dreams. And you felt,
Yes, my old master.
and in your dreams, you were going down passageways in the Underdark. And in the passageways on these tunnels, there were numerous mouths in the rocks. And they created this cacophony babble, and it was unsettling because they were speaking the tongue, cosmic common of Sigil. And when you did catch phrases and such, it'd be like, Ryu, Huyu, Huryu. Ah, come. I sense something. I sense something. A walker. Ha. Weird echoing queries. But then you wake up.
Strange. what to make of it. And there's still that succubus Tansy that knew who I was. But I only seem to get a certain amount of information out of her.
Right.
But yeah, that ogre mage had me. That's where I originally came from in the group.
Yeah, you were
So
slaves. Sort of.
somehow I was traded or something to that ogre mage for some sort of deal or something with the lich. Or perhaps I was
Ooh.
stolen even, but just with other magical items or something.
Well, and you also know that something was done to your mind. Like a lot of your memories are
yeah, for
gone.
sure.
You have huge gaps. You're not sure how you ended up here and stuff, and you know, why you have certain abilities even is tricks you sometimes. Like I
Mm.
realized I was trained or picked up something somewhere, but it's not there. I can just do things. But you do have some memories, of course.
Just
And some of them,
comes
yeah.
naturally from training in that. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, your sleep is unsettled, Silk. You are rested and it doesn't affect you in a negative way, despite that you just had unsettling dreams about these tunnels and mouths.
Yeah, an edge a little more maybe.
Everybody else gets a decent rest. There's no encounters. I made some rolls and such, despite just the local flora fauna. And everyone shrugs and are ready to go. Now back to you, Boudica. Pardon me. You were just.
No worries.
I'll be quiet.
So I'm going to say we get to the outpost in about 2 hours, according to
Cannon.
I'm losing the name. Cannon. Thank you. According to Cannon. So we need to make a decision quickly, whether it's to let her speak for us or to come up with a lie that's steeped in enough truth that it won't get past their systems.
And that potion will help you. It's quite powerful. I've got 5 doses of it.
The question is, will it resist dispel magic?
I would. Good question. That's difficult to say. Probably once it's imbibed, probably not.
Okay.
But if it was cast before you took the potion, then there's a chance that it could cancel it. Yeah.
How about this? If you go in and see if she can get you through. I mean, there's a possibility she might actually do that just to get escorted as far as she said she wanted escorted to the shrine, and then she could get assistance to get home from there. She may not actually tip that off here, because then she won't have any escort for the rest of it, especially if her cousin is as dangerous to her as she says he is.
That's a fair point.
That could be used to our advantage.
To cover our bases. Otherwise, Zhang could try going in with the all of her blackout gear on and be a surprise extra if things go south.
That is an excellent idea. I like that.
Good. Anyone else? So you brought concern that.
Oh, I think she'll betray the hell out of us if she says a word one. I don't trust her at all. That's my vote.
Yeah, Silk's been consistent about him, just like wanting to kind of get rid of her.
Isn't
Before,
like
yeah, no, you know the drow ways. There were drow in Sigil.
Well, that's the thing. I have kind of I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of residual resentment from something.
Zhang, along with Boudica, along the same lines, is like, I want to trust her to have her own self-preservation instinct strong enough not to do that to us. But knowing she's drow and she's not a whole lot more sane than Silk is, or less sane than Silk is,
Right.
whichever way, one or the other. she's not going to trust her to do everything right.
Well, she's stamping her foot now and kind of.
Yep. So-
Drederick and company are kind of moving around. I mean, no rush though, no rush. I mean, but
Yep.
she is. She's impatient.
Yeah. we
Zhang will
still get
take the
into it
lead
in a
and try and do a 200-yard lead here.
Yeah.
Or stay at least somewhere I can see the light back there and know you guys are coming along. But far
So-
enough, if anything I see ahead won't be able to see you guys.
All right, so Cannon goes up to Bodica and goes, "So, hope you sorted that out then. I do the talking. My cousin, I must be careful. You understand, family, right?
Family can be, shall we say, convenient at some times and impossible at others.
If I touch my left eye with my pinky, that means we are in grave danger. And be ready.
Understood.
Now, I will tell them that you are my escort. Is of my concern a private matter. I am a messenger, and you are escort a mercenary troop. You must come up with a name for your mercenary troop. They will want to put it down, take recording. If all goes well, they will let us pass simply with me showing some credentials, which I have lost now. But she reaches up and she turns quickly, and you realize she's making sure that the brooch is secured. I may have to pull out certain credentials. My cousin will be the tricky part. He may see an opportunity, you see. He may not officially try to stop us, but there are other means. He may, after we've passed through, he may, shall we say, try something. He does have some influence. However, there's an old story. He was the third born son, and we had arrangements to, shall we say, off him for the Death Queen Mother. And she mutters it 3 times. Death Queen Mother, Death Queen Mother. But he was very clever. He, in fact, killed his older brother. And the High Lady Death Queen Mother, Death Queen Mother, Death Queen Mother was satisfied. But there are some resentments. And she looks around at the troop. Ready, she says in Undercommon. Move out, assembly. You are now my paid for troop. And she says, I've paid you well, of course, when we get there. Say nothing and let me do the talking. We will get through. And she assumes a position of authority in the central area of your little entourage and waits for you to all assemble and start to move out.
And when I'm getting ready.
You got your spells all picked and stuff there. We'll move on
Just
along.
jumping.
And Zhang will take the lead and do her best to definitely stay out of direct inquiry line of sight from anybody, and try and stay off to the side of you guys, but stay close enough that if anybody does see her through her thing, that she still looks like she's part of the group.
Got it. So you're gonna go hide in shadows, though.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. With that
Okay.
technology cloak on and the boots and stuff too, so she's hoping it all works well.
Okay, you move forward. Here's your last chance, anybody, to cast spell or whatever, or get going, because you sense the passageway is now quite worked, and it goes, all of a sudden, it goes quite straight. It's carved somewhat, roughly, quite roughly. And there's lichens and so on still. But up ahead, you sense the smell increases. There's also a bit of a burnt smell. Acrid.
Yeah,
Burnt.
smoke, smells of smoke, and that would go a long ways on the ground.
Burnt corpse smell.
Is anyone else hungry for barbecue?
All right, so I'm gonna roll forward then to an hour goes by, and up ahead, Cannon kind of mutters out, and I'm coming. Okay, be ready, but do not look, do not hide, but walk boldly, she says. And she actually kind of, you see that she starts adjusting her hair and stuff, and she pulls back her burqa and ties it in sort of this fashion so they can't tell that she's been shaved, but it's sort of this elaborate little do with this scarf, and she's trying to look impressive, and she turns to Boudica and somewhat embarrassed a bit. Do you have any makeup?
I find no need for such things. However, let me see if any of my companions do. So I go over and Cannon is requesting use of some makeup. Would anyone be willing to give a little to her?
Silk? Zhang has no need for such things either and has never actually contemplated use of that.
Never mind then.
Actually, I do have some pigments and that kind of thing. Not really makeup per se, but
Oh,
I do keep some things on me. Like I've got some diamond dust, and
she turns to Boudica. We must impress them, right?
a little bit of diamond dust might go ways.
And tell your friends, and she looks pointedly at Gwyden. They must defer to me, of course. And is Scott still here? I see
He's
lost him.
muted.
I'm here.
I pay for men, not mascara.
I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. Wait, pardon me.
But I don't speak their language, so I'm waiting to hear what the translation is from these guys.
I do have some basic kind of grease paint kind of stuff that I use for subterfuge.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is humor her.
To Gwyden, no, and the rest.
Oh boy.
Well, the plan, she's assumed a position of authority now, more so. And
Are we in front of them yet?
well, I'm about to change maps in a minute here. She's in the middle of the group somewhat, and we still have the same general layout as before. Zhang has disappeared. You don't know where Zhang is right now. She's moving around in the shadows, hidden.
Mhm.
Zhang,
Scouting
there is
ahead.
a large passage up ahead. There's some the main primary passageway hits some tiers that are giant steps, like every 10 feet, and suddenly you're dropping down, and up ahead you can see the eerily kind of orange glow from whatever effect coming from a large cavern, Zhang. As you move up, I'll change the map a minute.
When she sees that, she'll go back 100 yards or so, whatever it takes to meet the rest of the group, and tell them that they need to really drop the light, or stepping into that opening, dropping down into that cavern is just going to be like a sky beacon.
Before you do that, Zhang, give me a hide in shadows again.
Okay.
See, because there's a sentry.
Okay. Where did they get to? There.
Or move silently. Excuse me.
56.
You're okay. So you're moving along, and you see a oh, pardon me, give me 1 second. No, excuse me, Zhang, you don't see much of anything except, as the map implies, your sight carries into the passageway. Let me open it up a bit more. And you report back that you're entering a large cavern, and there's a smell of burnt flesh in the air, kind of fresh, kind of garbage, burnt garbagey.
Uh-huh.
And you turn around and go back, and you didn't see sentry. You sense there's nobody here watching at the moment.
Nobody on this entrance.
No. And there's passages. You quickly look around and scout. So I'm going to show you a little bit what you see because you
Yeah.
do so successfully. You, excuse me, go quietly around. And you don't go far. You just say, okay, there's passage here, passage there. Obviously, up this direction to the north, the cavern keeps expanding, and the ceiling goes way up into the twinkling lofts. Stalactites, stalagmites are here. It's-
Out of her 60-foot sight range, like it goes up out of range.
yeah,
Okay, so she has enough there that there's a couple of passages on the left, a passage on the right, and
you actually went out here. You actually went out here.
Yeah.
Scouting because you realize, oh, this is but it's eerily pretty quiet. And Cannon mentioned that it is the drow keep a low profile. They're not like checking. You come in, and she mentioned that normally you go to the northern part of the chamber, and there you'll be either addressed and report, or they won't even challenge you, perhaps.
just let her go through. Okay,
Yeah, you just walk through.
so
But there
she'll
are
take a-
sentries up there. Just to look, pardon. Ding.
Yeah. So she'll just take that like you just did there, just a little scoot around there to get a minute or two of reconnoiter information, couple of passages. The main cavern goes on to the north, loop back around, back out, and intercept them before the light gets close enough to be seen from anywhere in there, and
Good.
let them know that we got to do something about that light, or they're gonna give everybody away right there, and go back and talk to them there.
Good. So you report back. We're here. It appears there's not much to report, like you said.
Yeah. Two passages to the left, one slightly larger passage to the right. The main cavern opens up straight ahead to the north.
Let's send out a couple of scouts and reconnoiter the area, check out the area, and then come back here. And
I just did that.
so so we don't have a big lump of this.
So there's big flat 10-foot sections, and then it drops off about 5 or 8 feet, drops off again. Kind of drops down into this cavern, and big slabs. But yeah, it's very, very quiet, which is unusual because something in there should echo greatly. Anything coming in that entrance would echo like crazy. So Gwyden, Mongo, button it up tight and cover it in a cloak.
And then Jang, you're going to go back to your position, hiding and moving forward.
Yep, basically find someplace I can sit out there and look around.
Yep.
And wait for them to come on up and see if their distraction works, and then try and go through with them.
So I'll move the group up a bit, and you guys, yes, the cavern's up ahead. Zhang, you see there's a pile of something up here, by the way.
Okay.
Smoldering, and you realize that's probably the source of that burnt garbage flesh smell.
Mm-hmm.
You realize there's a mound of perhaps corpses.
Yeah. I don't see anything else in the area.
Yes, you see a group of humanoids enter your vision from the north area here.
Mm-hmm.
As they come into sight, you realize they're bugbears.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. The roll real quick to see how many. There's probably about 7 of them.
Okay.
And large, well armed, armored, with usually ring mail in their own chaotic fashion, but you see quite effectively, a lot of them have helmets, heavily armored. One of them even has
those
a,
are tough.
yeah, one of them has kind of like a winding crossbow.
Oh,
Surprises you. Yeah, it's got some mechanism on the side of it. Crank.
well, I'm expecting them to go into this, one of these side passages. So she's going to kind of scoot in here behind some of these stalactites and just go perfectly still and let them go through unless,
Well,
um,
they may see the others if they're gonna go by you.
yeah. If they're coming in, they're being led by two drow. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Because I'm expecting them to defer to the drow. Or at least hoping they will.
Nope, they seem to be on their own. No drow present.
No. I meant when Cannon and Boudica show up.
Oh, right, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I just had to, I forgot to get these guys out. Hold, give me a second.
Any sign of trolls, Darren?
Well, you look around, no troll sign. You don't see scat or smell troll. There's an over pervading smell kind of lingering through the area though. Give me one moment. I have to quickly get a quick look. Pardon me, Gwyden. Do you have a particular hatred for trolls or anything? Do you know their ways? Are you right? You know what I mean?
We've fought several. The Legion has fought several humanoid armies, and I know they kind of go. Bugbears and trolls go hand in hand.
So I'll give you a wisdom roll. Actually, it would be a good. Let me know if you get your wisdom or less, and to see if you can have a quick chance to ascertain.
Sadly, my character.
No,
Yeah. Well,
all good.
didn't work.
So Zhang, you're watching this troop. They don't see you, and you're standing still, making no noise and stuff. But they are moving forward, and Drederick and Cannon. Right away, she puts her shoulders back and looks at Boudica and nods and just keeps moving forward. And the bugbears get close and stop when they see your entourage coming. And they hesitate for a moment, and before they see Cannon barks out, "Move aside. We have business." And they, give me a second, make a roll. It works. The bugbears right away kind of move to the side somewhat and deferentially give you the passage to go by. They're watching you somewhat, but curiously and but fearfully, keeping their eyes a little away as Cannon kind of looks at them haughtily. She goes, "So, if you wish to get by, we go north through the passage," as she whispers to you. "To the left is unknowns. To the right, the troll lairs, bugbear lairs. Trouble."
That unknown might be better than for sure trouble. Or it could be worse.
The passage up ahead is actually surprisingly well lit. Don't need a light source or anything, and your vision encompasses quite a distance. You're surprised as it opens up. The bugbears just seem to watch you. What's going on here? Right. And you move into the passage, and then Cannon kind of stops and turns to Boudica. "We are being watched." But she didn't touch her eye with her pinky or anything, but she just said, and she nods toward the northern area. "Up there. Sentries. In the nooks and crannies." And then she stops like it's natural, and you're just chatting for a moment. And you look over, and there's a pile. It's a big pile. You're not sure how many corpses are in it, but it's been there for a day or two. And you see there's a bunch of heads on pikes, and a bunch of the heads, it seems to be the troglodytes. That's what they are. And the stench is quite bad. Most of it's been burnt, though, I should say. It's hard to tell how many bodies, but there must have been a lot. Like, and there was, they probably spent half a day burning these corpses to get rid of the stench. Probably made matters worse for a day or two. But there it is. It's like you look over and it's like, that might be the results of the rebellion, or if it's ongoing. But Bodka is kind of trying not to show her the horrible smell. She looks at you. Well, are you up for this? Do you have a name for your troop? You're muted.
Thank you. The Order of the Red Dragon.
Order of the Red Dragon. What is your sign?
Our sign.
Could wear that red dragon skin leather.
Yeah.
How about armor if you still have it?
Yeah.
And he points at Gwyden and Silk. Tell those fools to cover their skin.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to them and whisper to them. Make sure as little of your skin as possible is showing, if any. We're being watched very carefully.
I'll pull my hood and cloak around me more tightly.
And pardon me, she said we're about to enter like the observation zone.
Probably hard to see past that black techno cloak, so I'll keep the hood of it up.
All right. So any object anytime. I'm kind of rolling this forward. What's your next move? Who's gonna because she kind of looks at you and actually she starts marching forward. Assuming you're with her.
Yeah, so
Then she stops and grins. One thing I forgot to mention. You say you are going to the shrine, right? You were on that direction, right?
yeah. I think so.
Okay. And she nods. Then we must go that way. She points and directly north. And she seems to be waiting.
All right. I'm going to signal to the others for us to press forward. And before I do so, I'm going to whisper, be on your guard just in case shit hits the fan.
So Zhang, the patrol that was by you, has turned around, is now following up the group.
Okay.
Just seems to be dogging it a ways back, watching it, and they're unaware of your presence.
I'm gonna stay a little ways away from them, but I take it this area right here is where the fire is. The pile of bodies.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there any possibility of sneaking through these stalactites on the backside here and getting around them?
No, you can move through there. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's what she's going to do. She's going to scoot up through these stalactites, come out around the other side and get back into the party without actually
There's a smell coming from this cavern here that you passed.
Yeah. Is it as bad as the stuff that's burning in the fire?
Maybe not quite. It's perhaps fresher.
Oh
no, pardon me, that's misleading. It's different, and you sense it's probably troll.
Ooh. That's different altogether. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Okay, pardon me. Let's take a short bio.
Okay.
There's a couple things I have to organize. I have to go in about an hour, so we'll see how this goes. I realize there's a bit of tension built. You're in a dangerous area right now, and you've just entered where the cannon says we're being watched. They're being reported to the outpost by now, but you're not trying to hide, right? You were marching through there, so
Yep.
so everything's normal. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, I think I'm going to use the facilities too while we're taking a break. I'll be back in a minute as well.
Wow. So here we are. Caverns, so far so good. I had a hey, hey Rosie.
Yeah, she was giving her dad a bit of trouble, so I said, "Well, bring her in here and I'll give her a
Yeah.
drink."
Yay. Growing like a weed. I saw the picture you posted.
Oh yeah. Yeah, can you believe she weighs about 18 pounds and she's about 26 inches long?
Wow.
Yeah, she's grown 6 inches since she was born and she's tripled her weight.
Ooh.
Meiosis and man, the genetic code and all that stuff. It's amazing how that works.
Oh yeah. Well, and if she takes after her dad, she's gonna be tall and skinny.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Yep. Yeah, she's gonna be right around 5'6", 5'7".
Be a model or a basketball player.
Yeah.
So here we are in this tense situation in the cavern, and you're looking around and you realize now these bugbears have kind of picked up and are dogging you guys by about 150 feet ish. And you move up forward. Actually, I'll wait a moment. Some people are probably still AFK.
I'm here.
I'm back.
Okay, so you hear an Underdark suddenly. Alt? Address? Name? Purpose? You hear out of the shadows. Conan, he says, Conan Arcadia. House Alicevel? Private business? Entourage. The party of the Red Dragon. They are my escort. And you see a drow come out of the shadows where he'd been hidden. It's a male, but he comes forward somewhat cautiously, in armor, and he's eyeballing the group. And he goes, Canon Arcadia. Ah, yes. It has been 11 days. Where is the Lady Vondril, the High Honored Matra? Canon says without a blink, now in drow. She is assuming her duties again. There was an incident at the outpost. I am on urgent duty. There was some conflict. And the male's eyes kind of go a bit skeptic. The bottom half of his face, by the way, is covered by this kind of metallic covering of, you've seen this armor before with some of the drow warriors. It's in his muffled voice, he says, and he nods. You have papers? I am afraid not. There's been some rush. And his eyes narrow. I insist you let us pass. Everyone's looking and he's eyeballing. We have a roll. And he nods. Now, you're not sure if this is her cousin. Probably not, you sense. And she kind of nods and looks back. But her pinky doesn't go to her eye, but she looks at Boudica with a bit of, you see her eye narrow a bit somewhat. And she looks around and it's almost like she's a bit surprised that he nods her through. Carry on then. I suggest you hurry. There has been a bit of an uprising, he says. The troglodytes, and he shrugs towards the smoldering heap of corpses. It is under control though, but there are renegades around. Move quickly. And he nods toward the passage. Pardon me. Over here. Oh wait. In this direction. Do you wish to proceed? He just seems to give you the go ahead, and he gestures with his hand and kind of bows a bit. Ah, Canon Arcadia, High Lady. You may proceed.
Anybody doing anything? We just following her.
Canon nods and looks at Boudica quickly and the others. And moves quickly, realizing that, okay, well, don't look blind, you know.
Is
course.
there another choice of exit?
There are. This is a hub in some ways.
Does it look like
Cannon seems confident. Silk, are you there, Brad?
Yeah.
You're getting a headache.
Hmm.
Someone's scrying?
No, yeah.
That's enough.
Quite. Scott.
He's trying to scry me.
But Cannon looks back and nods. Okay, then. Very good. Is there anything we should look forward to? She seems like, oh, everything's proper. Cannon's like nods. Zhang, you're still hidden.
Yep, still coming up that far side of them. I take it he was over on the far side where they were talking
Yep.
there.
I'm going to get you, give me another move silently roll.
Okay. All right, yeah.
Okay, so you're not detected. So Cannon's moving this way, And this is intense. You see that the passageway kind of bends, if you recall. And to your right, to your surprise, you hear the caw and screech of a couple creatures that are tethered to the wall in this nook here. How do you say this again? I hear a cough sphinx?
Oh, Sphinx.
Sphinx.
Sphinx, I think.
There's two of them. There's a picture. Oh, that's a, is that what it is?
Yeah, they got kind of a griffin. They got an eagle-ish head, sort of, don't they?
Yeah.
I think so. Sort of like a griffin without wings, right? But their back part's a lion.
This is a pic of them, though. Anywho, you see them screech, but Cannon pays them little heed. It says to Boudica, they are the mounts for messengers. Very fierce creatures. Conditioned, of course, to certain commands. And she winks at you.
Interesting.
Your headache intensifies, Silk.
Under mental attack of some sort. Do I figure?
Well, you're wincing, and others kind of notice this, perhaps, but
But they don't seem to
Zhang,
be having any problem.
you have a difficult choice now, Zhang. You have to cross this passageway, this cavern,
Mhm.
and there's limited cover and so on, as you can see.
Okay, yeah.
So your roll will reflect a more difficult.
Well, there is
Okay.
a mental save thing here.
If there, but there's nothing down, like could I come down a little farther away from where those scouts are?
Give me one moment. Sorry, I'm concentrating on something. Wait a minute, Dean. Give me a second.
Yep.
Brad, Silk sees a mouth on the wall. Nobody else appears to see it.
I'm sort of whispering out of the side of my mouth. What do you want? Who are you? What are you? Am I losing my mind?
What was your sigil name?
Crescent.
If Crescent. The voice said,
I use my real name. I'm Crescent. What do you want?
I want you. And the entire party gets this weird sensation. It's really quick. It's almost like your ears are under pressure. And it's like you blinked. Everyone blinked at once. Your eyes all went click and then opened. And everybody can actually give me a saving throw versus spells. And this will just let me know if you notice anything else besides that. You all notice you quickly looked at each other almost and blinked in unison.
Is this a mental effect for mental saves?
No, this is an observation effect. If you could have seen something, it's difficult to explain at the moment. I don't want to
Okay.
spoil it.
I made it.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering about Jang's special things, but I'll roll that too.
Ooh, 3 of us didn't make.
Jang rolled out 1.
I'm the only one that resisted it.
Zhang, you actually stumble for no reason in mid-step and you fall and you're kind of exposed. You lose your status
First,
as well. You sense that, oh shit, like all of a sudden you stumble out of the shadows.
current.
And you-
Oh,
And you see the two creatures turn around and give out a bit of a screech. They see something, but everyone else, we have a quick look here. Now, Silk, unfortunately, you As you open your eyes at that big blink, you look around and Silk is gone.
Oh, it's a time stop. Yep.
Okay, well, let's not metagame this. And Silk might know this, but Brad, just so you know, but he's gone, so he couldn't even say that.
Yeah.
If he would have known, he might have. But just so you know, that was a
Right.
okay.
No
If
matter how you
that's what
look at it.
happened, if that's what happened. And I did give hints and such, and so I know Brad was like eager, like, oh, but Silk's gone. And everything's normal though. It's just like you all blinked and
And what the hell happened?
oh shit. Hurt your eyes. Okay. I'll give you guys a moment because Cannon even it's hard to miss because Silk was there and
Blink.
but
Oh.
on that hand she probably wasn't looking at his direction. It's hard to say, like whoever made their roll there noticed he's gone right away, but also anyone passed. You all failed except for Silk. Oh, Master Jen. Oh no. You all failed? Bodica, did you roll? Oh, there she is.
Yep.
Fail. Okay. So
The
you got
last
no
one
other
knew.
hints. No
I'm
other
the only
hints.
one
What
that
happened?
passed, and I'm the one that disappeared.
Yeah, you're the only one who passed. And Silk, we'll get to you in a moment. But for now, let you guys stew on this for a moment. And you're trying not to know what happened. You hear something and you see Zhang stumble and fall somewhat, but it seems all is okay. Do you want to keep going? Cannon just keeps moving though. I'll let you guys.
I don't exactly understand what's happening, but if I can still see Cannon, I follow her.
And to your surprise, I'm double checking. Okay. So take a quick look at your order here on the map and make adjustments if you're somewhere you aren't. Okay, just to let me know.
I was asking you, Darren, to go a little farther away from them sentries, maybe down over to here before I cross the main passage. You said there was some light down here, like crystals and what lichens and mosses or whatever.
Can you
The
ping it? Where's? Yes, and you can move your character in that direction.
well, you said if I tried to cut across, I was going to go out into some more open lit area. So I wanted
Yeah.
to get farther away from them drow sentries before I cut across. So I'd basically come up like over here. So instead
Okay,
of being
sure.
where I am, I'd be coming up here.
Yeah. And you were close, and you saw that Brad was there one instance, and then he was gone.
Because I'd have been coming right up in there on the angle to the party when I stumbled.
And you also saw a couple bugbear sentries over here. Pardon me.
On farther down.
Yeah, when you were kind of panning around, and they were. Hold on a sec. They appeared to be guarding a passageway. Oh, no, hold on. Reveal areas. Thank you.
Another passage down there.
And there's a big honking pool over here. And give me a second, because you bowed around and went a bit that way.
Yep, basically across here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a pool of water you see ways away, and then there's a bit of a eerie kind of glow coming from it.
That's not exactly unusual down here, and if there's as many
Probably not.
creatures as it sounds like there is in this cavern, they gotta have a primary water source.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Darn it, none of you made that saving throw. Okay. So cannon keeps moving and north. I'll proceed unless Zhang, you want to had something else in mind.
I was basically coming up behind the party there and trying to catch up,
Okay.
stay
So-
with them.
Drederick is out front with Gwyden, and everyone else is kind of in between. Mongo's on the left. As you move up this passageway here, this huge, what you thought was a massive rock, kind of turns and slides towards you. And everyone make a roll to see if they're surprised, because if they're surprised, you can't act on round one, basically, when we roll initiative.
I'm rolling a percentage for Zhang.
Yeah, so I don't know what your surprises are for you individually, but roll your die. If you don't have one, if you roll on a 6-sided, if you roll a 1 or 2, you're surprised. If there's no other indicator. Rangers and monks and stuff have benefits in this regard, but not really. So go ahead. If you are surprised, you can't act in the first round. As this massive creature lurches, you realize now it turns and it has these appendages that come out of the kind of front of the rock, quote unquote, with eye sockets sort of darting about. And we have some combat. Looks like this thing is attacking. It's a voracious eating machine. It blends into the niche, waiting for creatures to go by. I like the write up on this thing. It's pretty good.
Waiting for suckers.
This monster blends into the niche it has found beside the passageway northeast, where it initially rested to digest a meal and then decided to stay because of the excellent food supply. The drow will soon get rid of it, it says in brackets.
But not yet.
It's some massive underdark slug-like creature with a huge shell and kind of toxic slime. You see that it sizzles and pops and has a ammonia kind of stench. All right, so if you didn't, and let's roll initiative. It's excited. Oh, I rolled secretly. Let me do that again. For the moment, Silk has to be put aside. Okay, so I got a 5. So the creature caught you off guard and moves in, and I'll roll dicey. 1, Dredrick's 1, Gwyden's 2, Cannon's 3, Mongo's 4. Attacks Mongo. And he rolls to the side. It's being a large creature, and dwarves are very good against large creatures. But anyway, it didn't roll well. And this thing went in to just chomp him with these huge sphincter-like mouth and misses. And then its tail kind of lashes around and tries to hit him. That might be close, actually. Oh,
It's
that's
like an
definitely-
Umber Hulk maybe or something.
It's a giant snail.
Okay.
With teeth?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mongo got hit by the tail, so I have to make a saving throw versus poison. And that's a pass. Mongo's got good saving throws.
Need to create salt spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great food, bunch of salt. So the tail does some damage, but does not poison him. Mongo avoids the effect. 5 points damage to Mongo. Oh, look out, a giant snail. Doesn't sound so intimidating, but
Yeah. Need to get lots of garlic butter. Let's store
all right, your turn.
Well, Zhang and Hondo are both good, but Zhang's a fair ways away.
Yeah, Gwyden's up there, and
Did
Cannon's up.
Dredrick make his save?
Cannon's
Or-
like back Not, oh, Drederick, right.
Or
To,
make
if he was
his,
surprised.
yeah, for surprise.
Want me to roll, Scott, or do you want to roll?
Oh, sorry.
Looks like Drederick's good.
Yep. The slug creature moves in a Mongo. Rah!
Ew.
Yeah, it's
There you
big.
go.
Lots of hit points. There's a lot of damage too.
Do you want to go ahead for Drederick there, Scott?
For his attack,
What's he got? Actually, he's usually got a crossbow, right?
he's got a falchion. He's got my falchion +2.
Oh, okay.
So if he, I would think he would use that in close
No, he
since
might
he's
hit
in
somebody.
melee, right?
Yeah. Pardon me. Wow. Crit.
Nice.
20. Wow, 23 damage. Well, double damage.
How did he do that? Hold on.
Double damage.
I mean, he rolled a 20, no doubt, but I mean,
Yeah.
what are those bonuses? Why does he's got a
+3. You got
What's
plus
his
two for
strength?
+3 to hit? He doesn't
For
have
damage?
+3 to hit. Hold on, he doesn't have plus. He has +3 to hit for strength, but not magic. Oh, I see. Maybe that should be a
So
1.
that was a 23.
It was still a 20 double damage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
it should have been 23.
Good hit. All right.
Yeah. Okay. And then it should have been +3 to damage. So it should have been 4
20 points
plus
damage.
7.
+3 is 7, double damage 14.
Got it.
Okay.
So yeah, you cut it deep. Gwyden, you can go. Gwyden's got good taco.
He's all right. Hang on. Let me see.
Boudica, everyone can kind of lay into this creature. Ooh,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
hit.
I'm
Oh, it's
definitely ready to go.
large
once,
creature.
Wyden
Okay, go
rolls
ahead.
a 21 and a 12.
Both hit. Okay.
14 and 11 is 25.
Yeah. Whack, whack.
On top of the 14 of Drederick. So 39 so far.
Got it. All right, so nice. This creature has been cut up pretty good. Who's left?
What
Uh,
real
uh,
quick, what was Cannon's reaction to all this?
She would take a position away, like assuming that, hey, you're my bodyguards. She
Okay.
actually retreats.
But
Probably back behind
she's
Gwyden.
not like smiling or grinning like maybe she knew this was coming.
No,
Okay.
she was like in danger's way. If I would have rolled a 3, it would have attacked her.
Got it.
Hondo just has to take a short 5-6 foot step there to reach with that naginata of hers. So she's gonna lay into it,
Nice.
see what she can get, and
No,
not enough apparently. She only rolled a 5.
-2 armor class. All right, so that doesn't hit. Anyone left?
I believe I'm able to attack. Let me see. Trying
Yeah,
to find
you're-
where we are on the map.
You're right by the head.
I'm gonna poke it.
Ooh. That's a good roll. Large creature, 14 damage. Wow, this thing is taken 66 damage so far. Holy.
Holy smack. Zhang's got to move about 25 feet and find a way in. I guess she'd have to go around behind Boudica and down in beside Gwyden.
Yeah, it'll take you a while to get there, and unless you don't want to blow your cover, you're still hidden again.
Yeah. I really don't want to blow it, but because there's still people in the area that may change things here, especially if we make a lot of noise like this. She'll she'll hold off till next round to jump out in the light there and take it on.
Mm.
She'll come up to support here and be ready to jump in and wallop it next round.
Okay, so that's the end of the round. Now Silk. Oh, is Brad there? Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Oh, there's
Okay,
back.
so. Oh, he's there.
Yep.
Oh,
Working thing working now.
all right. So Silk,
On for a sec there.
you find your body is rigid and held in sort of, and then you hear something snap beside your head, and your body becomes loose, and you get control. And you look over, and to your kind of horror, you see your old master.
I had a feeling that was coming. Yeah.
It's Lord Asbiades himself, but he looks even more wasted and like a true lich. His emaciated body is covered with intricate and alien jewelry, and his eyes are like black cold sockets as they bore into you, and out of habit you sort of bow somewhat, find yourself, and he's powerful. You can sense the crackling energy. You look around this chamber he's in, and there are numerous mouths all over, hundreds of different sizes. And he turns, and his mouth doesn't move, but all the mouths suddenly speak in this cacophony, in this uni voice. So, servant of mine, I have a quest for you. Do this for me, and I will reward you.
What, like you rewarded me before with imprisonment by that ogre mage?
Silence! What is done? I own you. You are mine, my property.
I'm just starting to remember myself after whatever you've done to me.
You want your memories back? I will
Don't
give
care
them
one
back.
way or the other.
I will give them back to you.
What if I don't want them back?
Are you sure? There are others.
I've developed a pretty good life for myself here, and I'm not hurting too badly from not having them.
Aha, and he laughs cruelly. All the voices laugh cruelly. You don't remember her, do you? They say.
What? Whom, Tansy?
No. It chuckles.
Well, then there are perhaps some things I still disremember.
Reconsider. I will give you memories. There is someone you don't remember. Perhaps you should.
Well, I couldn't be missing them that badly then, could I?
Well, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Your talk back is amusing.
You know, long your grip was broken once. It could probably be broken again. You have me in your thrall for now, but I've learned many things since our last meeting for certain.
Ah, I see that. Well, you face now a choice between life or death. And your friends, your puny friends, they will pay the price too, but you will need them for this quest. For if you do this for me, I will not only give you your memories back, but I will give you untold wealth and power.
Hmm.
For when I have, if you do this for me, I will go back. And those black eyes narrow, the pits seethe with anger. Oh, I will go back and they will pay.
I tell him I've got something good for a laugh, and I pull out old Amara's card and I use it on it.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy. Okay, Brad, I have to think about this. You may have pushed your luck here, buddy. Oh, oh my. In rage, he shrieks at you.
over his sniggering and laughing.
Well, yeah, actually, does I have to think if he gets a saving throw? It's a powerful card. Like it's
Odd
just
card.
yeah, it's the god's card. You flash the card. Now he laughs, and you realize that you have a moment. You basically have a round as he's laughing. But you probably really pissed him off.
Yeah, it was kind of my intention.
But you do have a round if you want to come up with something. And I'm coming to the end of the session. It's a bit of a cliffhanger. I wasn't expecting that because talking to a lich in that manner. Now you realize this lich wants something really bad.
Yeah,
I've
considering probably what I've had to, the crap I've had to do for him before, it may not be something I want to do. So,
well, remember he brought you here for a reason.
Mhm.
If he wanted to kill you, you'd be dead.
Yeah, it's most likely not you.
Anyway, I've said a lot. You realize you've pissed him off though, so I'm gonna probably have you let me think for a moment. Let's go to the others for a round. That was a round basically. That's interesting. What I'll probably get, Brad, is for you to roll. Well, anyway, back to the combat. Let's roll initiative next round. And I got another 5.
Oh,
Okay, the enraged creature now is moves sideways, and it's going to try squish Drederick, Cannon, and Gwyden against the wall with its bulk as it slides over. And look out! And you see Cannon looks up in surprise. Drederick as well. So if, you can make a saving throw versus petrification polymorph. And I'll get you to roll for Drederick as well. And then Gwyden, you have a second to react. Missing one initiative. Actually, you don't. You get your saving throw. So let a roll for Drederick, if you would. Roll 20-sided. That's fail. Drederick is in the way. He'll get the effect. And then roll for Gwyden. I'll roll for Cannon, of course. Ooh, Cannon missed. You passed. So Gwyden, you can act. You can see this thing steamrolling. It's gonna hit Drederick. It's gonna hit Cannon. And you're ready though. You can dodge out of the way.
Do I get to hit at it, or this is his turn?
It's its turn.
Okay.
But I will say, and this is silly, you could push either Drederick or Cannon out of the way and take the hit. But you would take the hit.
Who's in the way?
In this case, it's an area effect. Your armor class won't affect it. You take damage.
I'll push. I'll push either Cannon or Drederick. You said.
Yeah, they're both there. You see they're both like caught in this bulk creature.
I'm gonna I'm gonna push Cannon out of the way.
Okay, so Cannon, you've thrust her into the passage, and the creature crunches into you and Drederick. I'm just gonna roll damage here, and it's a huge bulk.
Basically using its entire body just to slam you.
39 points damage.
Each person or
Pardon me,
And
that was
then-
Drederick,
ouch.
and this one is for Gwyden takes 27.
Oh.
Ooh, Drederick is.
Hurt.
Oh, he was healed though, right? Like Drederick had those hit points back. I see 26 out of 49, so he's down to 10 hit points.
Yeah, we were full coming in here because we had a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so,
he moved, I'm sorry, he moved up in level last session, and so I didn't update his I rolled early on for some hit points for him, and I never updated the
Oh, okay. So you can
Pop-up thing.
roll 10-sided, ignore ones. Or we
Yeah.
used to roll. Oh no, we rolled 8-sided and add 2, right?
well, he
At
has
minimum of 3. Yeah.
he has also a constitution bonus of 2, so I actually rolled like a 9. So, sorry, I rolled a 7, but plus 2 is 9. So it's on his sheet. I just didn't update the
Got it.
overhead thing. It's
So Cannon gives out a squeak. As he's
58 is what he has now.
You give Cannon the old linebacker tackle, and she bounces down the passageway, rolling and squeaking, and this thing crushes it, crunch, and you hear Drederick's like, ah, as you hear his bones cracking and breath escapes you guys' lungs as this massive creature crunch, and then it goes to try and bite 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 cross. And that would be 1. Hondo. It lashes out. Ooh, that'll hit Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo's not very hard to hit right now.
Okay. The bite does.
Does it have like 10 feet of reach on that bite? Because she's staying back with that Naginata. She didn't come in right close
Yeah,
to
this
it.
thing's huge.
Okay,
It
yeah.
can lunge. Its neck can stretch out 10 feet.
Okay.
Like this snail is huge. Like
Yeah.
its shell is 15 feet diameter.
Holy crap.
Bigger maybe. It's massive. It's pissed off too. It's all cut up and bleeding around and lashing. So it does 10 points damage,
Okay.
Hondo, and then its tail flicks around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Boudica. Its tail wishes around, just missing you. And there's little flecks of yellowish kind of slime flicks off that you don't want to touch. Corrosive. And it's done. Its turn. It's now your guys' turn to act back. And you see Gwyden and Frederick are like, "Oy!" crushed. And who wants to go first? I should have.
Drederick will roll since his turn.
Sure.
Okay. Let me see
Miss.
here. He'll go.
Oh no, Hondo, pardon me.
Hondo, oh, but Drederick, that was
Another crit, baby. Boom.
16 points damage. The creature
Wow.
bellows, well, kind of bellows and snail-like shriek. But it's still alive, but it's raging now. It's got not many hit points left. Moving Gwyden.
Boudica's up front there too.
Yeah, I'm
14
rolls ready.
and
Okay, Gwyden bleeding. Well, there's blood streaming out of your nose, Gwyden. When you got squished there, you were like, I don't know, you're not sure if you bit your tongue or some blood came up. But anyway, you reach out and you sever this thing's head off. And
I'll spit on it.
Snail flambe.
it's dead. Yep. Yeah, and you spit. Cannon gets up. How dare you? She's looking at you, these intense eyes, and yet looking with kind of wonder. You can see she's trembling.
I'm gonna flicker a fiery gaze to match the fire on my flame burst weapon.
She's-
I like it.
her eyes widen again. She goes, quickly, we must move.
And I'll spit on the snail again.
I don't know what happened to your friend, she says quick, urgently to Boudica and Drow.
Where'd Silk go?
We must move though. We are being watched. There's too much noise. They may
I'm gonna-
come.
I'm gonna cut straight across the passageway here and see what's in there. See if he went that way,
Ping that? Where?
like just straight across from
Okay.
where I was.
Yeah, there's no sign Silk went there. Pardon me.
Like,
Yeah, he is, in all pretense, had disappeared utterly.
And I know what I'm doing this coming round.
Oh yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, okay. So you had a moment while this guy was laughing. So you have
Yeah,
a round back.
Okay.
So pardon me, Zhang. You don't say anything. Anyone else want to do
Just that.
anything? But Cannon's motion, like, let's move. We must go. Your friend is gone. He's betrayed us.
that
knew
would
it.
not would be
He
that not
grabs
his way.
Boudica intensely and says, "They have been conniving to kill me. Him and that little green fuck. I have heard them. Think I'm a fool. Let's go." And she starts going down the passageway. Like, and she said, "I'm not waiting for you." And she goes to leave.
I'm gonna start motioning for everyone. I don't know where Silk is, but I hope he catches up with us.
Okay. Did anyone? Are we still being watched by people and at this point?
Apparently.
According
There's
to
a lot of noise made. There was combat. So the seconds are ticking away, and Cannon has retreated into the darkness of the passageway to the northeast. And you hear Drow saying to, "Hurry, you fool."
What are we
Boudica.
doing, Boudica?
I
What?
I would say run. Let's get out of here.
Gwyden, you're good for that too?
I'll lead the way. Tell me where to go.
I'm gonna point where Canon Arcadia started going toward. She knows this place better than we do. Let's get going.
This isn't good leaving Silk or Silk leaving us or whatever the heck happened. This was
Yeah.
too well set up.
This is very strange. I agree. The most we can do is hope that he makes his way back to us. It isn't like him to just up and leave.
Not naturally. Okay. We got to find a way up there. So we're going up that passage.
Tell me.
Wait, that up here is where she went, correct?
Yep.
Okay. That's where they told us to go, so I
Well, you guys tell me. I know it's putting you on the spot. And you have no idea where Silk went.
None at all.
Well, I mean, someone could go invisible, or there's ways to disappear.
Yeah.
That part isn't unusual, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I whispered quickly to Gwyden, take her a couple 100 feet, stop, I'll be right back. I'm gonna search around because I'm as invisible as we can get right now.
Jang, give me a hear noise, and any other thieves or have hear noise ability can roll. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
enough time's transpired. I rolled for some.
Oh, 99. Crap.
Okay.
Something's
Go
definitely
ahead, Dean. As you were saying.
I just motion to Hondo and Gwyden, take her down there, get Cannon, stop a couple of 100 yards down. I'm gonna scoot over here, see if somebody took him down this passage. And then I'll be wait no more than 10 minutes. I'll be just making a quick scoot around. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm going to ask Boudica real quick. I want to know the words in Drove for princess, stop, and now.
Okay. Hang on one sec.
Online somewhere, there's a Drow to English, English to Drow translator.
That's exactly what I looked up.
Talking.
Oh, guys, I love playing with you guys.
Here we go. Just found it.
And I'll warn everybody, I've slowed down, but time is ticking in a sense.
Yeah.
You're under a bit of pressure here.
Yeah.
Things are happening, and Jang, you missed that 99.
Oh, yeah, I know. Dice just aren't there.
She's got snail juice in her ears.
Here we go.
Zhang
I'm
does.
gonna paste it into the conversation because I can.
Yeah, paste it into the conversation.
So Zhang, can you ping the direction you were going to look? You're almost out of desperation, right? You're like,
Well,
Silk?
yeah, just
Silk?
over here. Because
Silk?
we were coming up here, and I know from where I was on the other side, there's nothing over here. No exits that I saw. So I'm going this way.
Yep.
Just to see what's over there more than anything. Put the cloak right up tight, boots fully on, and just because I can move as fast as a full normal person movement at half speed.
Okay, Zhang, you scoot over there and right away you sense something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you spin as numerous figures come running and giving there's eerie as how quiet they were though. You didn't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up and you see the telltale look, and you've seen these before, as numerous pardon me 1 second. Wow. The hallway in front of you is filled with grasping, leering faces with fangs and white flesh drawn taut over bones and hands hanging in dripping claws. Have you ever seen Heavy Metal when the creature's overwhelmed the B-24 or B-17 bomber?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of those creatures, and you recognize them now as ghouls. And
yeah, we
there's
faced those in Under Mountain.
and a few ghasts amongst them, and they fill the hallway running and lurching and go to attack you. You didn't hear them.
Yep.
And so you didn't get a chance to
Yep.
that you were caught off guard.
At that point, I immediately turned around. Don't even attempt to stay hidden. I'm going full speed back to the rest of the group and saying
make a surprise roll first.
Yeah.
Question Vin within Nith Nin.
that is my surprise. So
You're not surprised, or you are?
No.
Okay. So now we roll initiative because you realize Like I said, you didn't hear them, and they're quick too. Ghouls and gas
Yeah.
are very fast.
Oh, yeah.
That undead matter. Oh, I rolled a 5.
That's not good. Yeah.
Okay, what's your AC?
-3.
Okay, so 3 of them can attack you. All right, and I'm gonna have 2 ghouls and 1 ghast attack you. And this one ghast is a female ghast. You realize, and she's a bit of a leader type, perhaps at one point a drow or something. Who knows? But she'll attack first with 3 attacks. Her first are claws. You -3. Oh, that's a whiff. I'll quickly look up there. Now this is the ghast. You're at -3 armor class?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bite got you, that 19. Give me are you resilient versus paralyzation? I don't think you are. It's not a
I don't think I,
poison.
no,
It's like
yeah, no, I think,
so he rakes you with his bite.
Yeah.
For 3 points damage, but you give me saving throw versus paralyzation.
and no modifiers to that.
They needed a 9.
Oof.
Well,
That's not good.
that
Did-
is not good.
Could they see me? Because even infravision doesn't see me with that on.
Well, the fact that you were moving quick, they were just running down the passageway, whole bunch of them.
No,
Uh,
going in, I wasn't. If I was going to leave, I was going to go full speed. When I-
It came down to that hear noise, Dean.
Yeah,
Really, it really did. I know, I hear you, and I'm trying to kind of think here
Yep.
because the dice have turned.
Yep.
Yeah. That was the factor. Like they kind of surprised you in a sense. And,
Yep.
Well, Dean. Yeah, this puts me in a predicament, Dean. Pardon me.
And that's not a disease either, is it? Or is it part of the disease off their undead?
Well, that's why I asked if you were immune to paralyzation. And they needed a 19 or 20 to hit you.
Yeah, I think their paralyzation is more like a negative plane kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because the ghouls are 2 hit die creatures, I think, and the gas 3 hit die. So they need a 19 hit -3 armor class. And
Yeah.
but you do go down, Dean, and paralyzed. And I'll have to think for a minute.
Yeah.
We haven't had
How far am I away from them? Because I really never got very far.
no, you're not that far, but you told them I'm gonna go and look.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I rolled to see which factions had sensed you and were coming.
Ah,
And the ghouls and gas act as ghouls and gas do. I rolled and they successfully were coming. And that faction, and you were like went that direction. I'm like, I'll show you a bit more. And that's what I feel really bad as a DM. I always do about when stuff like this happens. This area up here, he senses the gas and ghouls faction.
oh
And
my.
this is tied to something, and this is interesting because Zhang, what I'm going to say is that you just go into blackness.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not gonna say much more.
No
Hold his heart
expanding.
though.
Oh, I never do. You know that.
Yeah,
There's always something that can happen.
and it's interesting because the ghouls and gas work for somebody.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
you are, yes, things go black as you're pummeled, and these grasping gray figures swarm you, and you kind of almost scream silently as they just, their claws come around your mouth and muffle you, and the fingers go in your mouth and nose, and they just stifle you as they don't let you scream or anything, and you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
And you realize all you sense is that you're being carried quickly down a passageway into the darkness. You sense in this direction from whence they came, but there are others that move forward and advance. You sense that are going towards your friends.
Uh-oh. And there's nothing I can say about it.
Now they heard something. Now there's stuff going on because they were saying, let's follow, and they'd started to leave. You just said, hey, give me a minute, right?
Yeah.
I'll be back. You guys wait for me. Give me now, who's left here? This is an intense session. Hondo
Wyden.
can give me a hear noise.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Bog can get a hear noise. He's essentially a thief. Boudica,
Hondo heard something. He got a 2. Or she got a
okay,
2.
Hongo turns to the group as you guys are leaving. You're like, let's move quickly. And Hondo says, something comes, we must flee quick. Hondo hears something coming, and it's not Jang.
She would know her pace.
And that was a good roll. I was going to make it a tough one, but she hears there's monsters coming. And Bog is like squeaks and goes scurrying down the tunnel.
Check with this, I'm out.
Go ahead. You guys role play this.
Something's coming from the rear. Something coming from where Jane just went. And lots of it.
Thanks for your patience, Brad. We'll be
Move,
with you
move.
shortly.
And everybody scoots down the passageway. Hondo no longer wants to be guarding the rear.
All right, so you're going to continue. But you sense something's wrong. Hondo's gave out. There's something happened. I don't know
Yeah,
where Jang
something
is, right?
very wrong back there.
Yeah. Okay, moving down the passageway, you see up ahead, you see a Canon Arcadia, impatient Arcadian. She's looking nervously back. Now, this might be a moment to, now we might move briefly to Silk before we end the session.
Okay.
On this note, because
Yep.
there's many things happening at once. Now, back to Silk. You still don't know where you are. You're in you think you're still in the Underdark because the passage
Doesn't
around
matter.
you. Sure. Just give me a second.
Know what I have in mind.
Okay, just hold on. Okay, so you have a moment while he's laughing in this weird, sketchy laugh, so you can
Okay.
you can act.
I'm going to activate my amulet of the planes, and I'm going to try to shoot for the astral plane using all the knowledge and stuff that I've gained from Lido and from traveling around the astral plane.
Let's see. Oh, you know what, Brad? That's a good idea. But you realize that's what's been preventing this creature from leaving this area. You realize that there is a barrier preventing astral travel. That you realize now it comes to you that Asbarides is in a trap. He's in a prison. And when you try to astral travel, and he stops laughing.
Amulet of the planes, there's no guarantee I'm going to go to the astral plane either.
Yeah, but he's restrained from doing that himself. And so it's sort of a uniform prison, but that gives you a lot of information, of course. I mean, you sense something was up.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a good idea, Brad. But I'm trying to think if you might be able to try break out. But if he can't get out,
Doesn't want to get trapped by this bastard again. Yeah. He's in full resistance mode right now. He's a rebel without a gun. What are you rebelling against? What do you got?
What do you got?
No, and like I said, it puts me in a position again too, because it's a good idea, but the whole point, like him being trapped here, you can't astral travel out of here.
Like I say, it may not send me to the astral plane. That's just what I'm shooting for. It could shoot me to any plane randomly.
So
Yeah, but he would have thought of that too at any point, trying to get anywhere.
and I might have to stop the session, Brad, because you bring up a good point, whether his prison was personalized, and it might just be up to me making a arbitrary decision.
Yeah. it's up to
I
you.
like where you're going and stuff, but you also have to realize that I'm actually playing by this module. I just read the encounter again, and I've adapted it a bit, of course. But I'm trying to keep it's interesting. He has 600 magic mouth spells in various areas around this chamber. He's rather bored. He likes hearing his own voice. Kind of well played, but he's chuckling now himself. You realize the effect is worn off, and now he's chuckling, and it becomes sinister. And he goes,
That showed him he doesn't have total control.
"No," and you realize he hasn't killed you yet, Brad.
I was half expecting him to, honestly. Yeah.
He hasn't killed you. Oh, and there's a dark presence at one end of the chamber. His assistant. Who is a creature of some other realm. You recognize it. You sense it might be like a daemon, their race. Or
I do have a dismissal spell.
Mm.
See you later. Poof.
but he's chuckling now, and
Rough out, yeah, yes,
he's
trap.
holding up his hand. My patience is running out. Desist this attempt to escape me. You will do what I command. Your friends have left. They are gone. You are alone. You have one last chance.
Plus, how do I even know I'm here?
Do
My
as I
body
command,
is likely
or I will
somewhere.
destroy you.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to try to discern as much out of meaning out of that as I can. Yeah. To decide what I'm going to do next.
I see you need a lesson. And he points at your forehead. And a black beam goes out, striking your head.
And deflects off my Eun stone.
Ah. Now I have to look up an effect here.
It is zipping around my head.
And we'll end the scenario here, the session. I do have to go. I've already pushed it a bit.
Yeah.
I have to go to dinner. I'm gonna be and I have a lot to work with. So Brad, you stubborn son of a gun. He's used now to metagame here. He may just have given you an insanity.
Oh no.
Yeah. And you're gonna be rolling for what kind of insanity you get. But you sense that he wants something badly. He hasn't killed you. You sense that he could have killed you. Well, now back to the others. Zhang, again, you've gone into blackness. You're being pulled through. They got hands over your eyes you can't see, and your ears are plugged by these grotesque fingers and stuff. They're intentionally not letting you hear or see anything in your paralysis. You're being carried along passageways swiftly. And there's been some more damage done to you. They're not gentle.
I suspected that much.
Yeah, they're drawing blood and scraping and banging you around. We're gonna roll for some damage, potentially. And the others have scurried down the passageway in uncertainty and like, oh, move quickly. Where's now Silk's gone, Zhang's gone now. Hondo's like shaking her head in fear. And Cannon's like, hurry, fools, we must move. Our chance now. I don't know how we did it. Run. And there's others behind you.
Fools.
Yes. And Hondo, you sense that there's creatures coming, right? Like I said. So we'll end the session there.
Hondo's
Uh,
response is that she doesn't want to be rear guard anymore.
And we got an intense session coming up next time, everyone.
Mm.
And yeah, Silk, I'll be working with you a bit. And of course, Jang. We have some situations happening here. And Cannon and so on.
Is losing her bodyguard slowly.
She doesn't seem
He's
concerned
gonna
though.
kick this lich and what's left of his dusty nuts.
Yeah. Oh, be very careful. You know better, Brad. A lich, they're usually minimum 20th level mages.
See if he
But-
likes a laser beam to the head.
You can try. Piss them off. Go ahead. Piss them off. See what happens. We'll see what your insanity is going to
Not
be.
right now, but at some
Not
point,
right now.
You never know.
Yeah, no. I'm just kidding.
Another day.
No,
Not
no,
today.
but I am keeping it in mind. You may not be,
I'm sure
you
you
may
are.
not be immune to something that isn't magical. It's
Oh,
technical.
perhaps.
Good point.
Good session,
Upgrade
everyone.
your defenses.
That was very intense. I'll stop recording here in a moment.